There's a reason conversations about the Talmud get shut down fast. Not because the book is mysterious, but because the content is explosive. Few texts have been more fiercely defended, edited, censored, and protected. And once you open it, you understand why. If you dare to question those writings, supporters of one particular geopolitical state will gaslight you all the way to the bank. But facts are facts, so let's lay them out. The Talmud is not a single book. It's a late, antique, multi-layered compilation piece together over roughly 500 years. Its foundation, the oral tradition known as the Mishnah. It dates to around 200 CE, eventually compiled by Rabbi Jehuda ha-Nasi. From there, two versions emerged: the Jerusalem Talmud, written in Western Aramaic, and the Babylonian Talmud, written in Eastern Aramaic. Over time, the Babylonian edition became authoritative, not because it was larger, but because it was more detailed in its legal debates. And it was produced by academies that held greater prestige. The structure of the Talmud is actually massive. At its core is the Mishnah, 6 orders, 63 tractates, layered on top of Gemara, Amoraic commentary on 37 of those tractates, dense debates, rulings, and interpretations. And it's within these tractates and commentaries that we find writings, nothing short of controversial. Now, since this is a channel that follows Jesus, let's look at what the Talmud says regarding Christians and Christ himself. Now, I can make an entire video on the hostile language towards Christians alone, but we've got a lot of ground to cover. Jewish scholars today often wave these passages away, calling them interpolations or forgeries. But that creates another problem, because these writings predate the modern editions. The earliest complete Talmud manuscripts were composed between 1200 and 1300 CE, which was a time when anti-Christian rhetoric was not rare, it was actually common. Everything changed in 1242 when King Louis IX ordered the Paris Talmud burnings. It was after that rabbis began self-censoring passages to avoid further persecution. But the origin text still existed, preserved not by the rabbis, but by the Vatican. Among them were documents like Vatican Manuscript 606. This was a smoking gun. But if the Talmud was the foundation that preserved rabbinic authority, the Zohar is where things take an even stranger turn. If the Talmud reshaped Judaism through law and commentary, something else was forming beneath the surface. Not a legal system, but a mystical one. Within the rabbis' debated rulings and traditions, another stream of teaching promised access not to doctrine, but to divine power itself. A system claiming to peer behind the veil of creation. And that system centered around one book, the Zohar.